So, you and me and Phil were in an area of Montreal, I think. And Jason. Who else? There were a bunch of us. There were maybe like 5 or 6 of us. We were walking along, and it was a bad neighborhood. And our tour guide was nervous. Oh, but maybe it was Winnipeg. It was Winnipeg, Montreal, something. Our tour guide was nervous, and we said, "Well, no. I mean, look, it looks. It's kind of a bad neighborhood, but I don't think we really have anything to worry about." And there was a guy who was dressed in plastic, including, and his head was shaved. His face was really rough looking. He was all clean shaven. He was dressed in plastic, and there was blood in the plastic, like pooling blood, like he was just bleeding all over the place, but it was contained by the plastic. And he was sort of down the road, and he was looking at some things, and seemed to be getting closer, but he was also completely uninterested in us. Then there was a large group of very tall people who were dressed in dark bluish clothing. They were very tall. They were, 8 feet tall, something like that. And their heads looked like they were coated in a very, very thick black fluid. It's like tar or something. And you could see that their faces looked sticky. Their heads looked sticky. You could barely make out any features. And they were pretty menacing too, but also not frightening. Not that frightening. It wasn't a nightmare. I wasn't scared. But they were sort of walking close to us and being a little bit intimidating, but not asking anything of us or anything like that. And so we just sort of went about our business, and then they wandered off. We all went onto a football field. There were 2 games of football going on this field, like amateur or something. But there was an announcer, and the announcer said, one team is this. Oh, I guess it was only one game of football. One team is this, and people cheered. The other team is this, and people cheered. And then somebody from our group yelled, "And the third team is the all-native Canadian football team. Let's hear it for them!" And huge cheers, and the other football teams came over to greet us and shake our hands and everything. But we weren't a football team. We didn't have any uniform or anything like that. We sat down because we weren't going to be playing football. We sat down, and the ground was really lumpy. And I said something along the lines of, "You know why the ground's so lumpy? Because there's skulls under here." And somebody said, "Yeah, there are actually. We did some digging around, and there's a lot of human remains here." And it was all sod. It was like loose sod. You could just pick up a square of it and put it back down. And so I dug through a little bit, and I pulled out an animal skull. It was bigger than a squirrel, so maybe it was a cat skull or a raccoon skull. That'd be pretty big. And so it was just the top and little pointy teeth, eye sockets. And then there was another one you could sort of see buried in there, so that was kind of weird. Yeah, I had tons of dreams last night. And every time that I woke up, I thought, oh, shoot, I should record it, but then I was tired. And so I had to go back to sleep. Even though I was worried I was going to forget them all, but this helped. I didn't even think about the football one until I started talking about dreams.